from Brittany Loves Reading, and today I'm coming to you with my very first TBR for 2024, my January 2024 TBR. If you haven't seen my TBR game before, it is based on my love of Tim Hortons. I have made the board based around the coffee, the donuts, different things that I like to eat or drink at Tim Hortons, and I made a board around it. Last month, I had quite a stack, so let's kind of talk about how last month went, but I will say I am filming this quite early. I'm filming this 2 weeks early because next week I have Sprintmas and I can't really edit and sprint at the same time, so I'm having to adjust. And the week after that, I'm going to take an entire week off of BookTube and spend it with family and friends. There will still be videos coming out that week, but I'm trying to get them done ahead of time so that I can take a break. So that's kind of my plan. So I'm filming this very much ahead of time. As of right now, my TBR for December is actually going quite well. I have 5 books that I still need to read this month, but with this amount of time and with taking an entire week to just read whatever I want, I'm pretty sure I can get all those books done. So I'm going to assume that I'm not rolling over any of those books into 2024. I'm going to work really hard in the next 2 weeks to finish those, and I think I can. There are 2 books that I am going to roll over that are outside of those 5 because they are for a video coming out in January, so I want to read them in January, so I'm going to push them off intentionally, and that is Time to Shine by Rachel Reed and Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I'm going to be reading both of these books for a January video, so I'm just going to hold them until then. So that means we are starting the month off with 2 books. That is much improved from past months of Timmies TBR. I'm very happy we're only going in with a very small stack of rollovers, and they are definitely intentional rollovers, so I knew this was coming. Let's jump in to our first roll for 2024. Roll number 1 is a 6, a series spinner wheel space, well, Timmy's TBR wants me to start off working on some of those goals that I want to do in 2024. One of my goals in 2024 is to work on series, so we hit a series spinner wheel space, so this is great. As you saw, I got 3 Dark Crowns, which is a series by Kendar Blake. I have only read the first book in this series, so I will be reading book number 2 and maybe even 3 and 4 if I can swing it, but I only have to read book number 2. Book number 2 in the series is One Dark Throne. Sorry, this is so shiny. The library has this cover on it that makes it very shiny. Anyway, One Dark Throne, this is a series that follows 3 triplet sisters. These sisters are the heirs to this kingdom, but only one of them can get the throne, and they have to fight to the death to get it. They have been raised apart from each other their entire lives, and now they have been brought back together to fight to the death. In the first book, we really are just meeting the characters, and they kind of go do a presentation of their magic to the people of this kingdom. So the people can kind of decide who they think will win this fight to the death. Each sister has a different magic. So in the first book, we also kind of learned which magic each sister has and how they can use it, who kind of is stronger than the others, or at least perceived stronger. That's pretty much what the first book follows. We never actually see any fight to the death content in the first book. So I'm very excited to dive into book 2 and start seeing kind of this fight to the death of the sisters. I don't know if that's in this book. There are 3 others, so I don't really know when we dive into that, but I really did like the first book. I think I gave it 4 stars, and I'm excited to continue. Roll number 2 is an 8, a coffee space, previous 5-star author. For roll number 2, we got a previous 5-star author, and for that, I'm going to be reading R.F. Kuang and Yellowface. I need to read this book. It's going to be my first book of 2024. I read Babel as my first book of 2023, and I'm just going to continue the tradition of R.F. Kuang being my first read of the year. I have successfully found out nothing about Yellowface. I know it has something to do with the publishing industry, and that is it. I have buried my head in the sand, and I wanted to know nothing about this book, and I wanted to go in blind, and somehow I have avoided all spoilers of Yellowface, and I don't know anything. Normally, I read the synopses so that I can kind of condense them and tell you what a book is about, but for this, I really want to go in absolutely blind And that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm not actually going to tell you anything about this book, but it will be my first book of 2024. So you'll see it in a vlog very soon. Roll number 3 is a 9. A Timbit space. Author with the name Tim. We've had this one before. It is a hard prompt, but that's okay. I forgot to mention at the start of this video that I put back all the prompts from last year that we hit, reshuffled the cards, and put them back into the game because we were getting low on cards. And because of that, we have now seen a recurrence of probably my least favorite prompt we got last year. Author with the name Tim. Obviously, it makes sense. My game is Tim Hortons based, but I don't have a lot of authors on my shelves with this name. However, I am going to go to a second chance author. I read a book by this author last Christmas. It was not my favorite. I didn't love it, but I want to give the author another try. So I will be reading Never Been Kissed by Timothy Janofsky. This book is a queer romance. It follows Ren and Derek. Ren has never been kissed. He would like to be, but he never has. So one night, while very drunk, he sends emails out to all his crushes that he had before he came out to see if anyone is interested in dating him, if any of them actually would want to start a romantic relationship with him. The next morning, he realizes what he's done with a sober head and is concerned at what he sees. And someone has emailed him back, and that is Derek. Derek and Ren get together. I don't know exactly what happens other than that there's a romance that happens. I am slightly excited and slightly concerned to read this book. The reasonings that I didn't love You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince, I don't think will be in this book. It was very much a book-specific issue. The overuse of the word dude being one of them.
You got it, dude.
So I think it'll be okay because I didn't mind other things about the book. So I have high hopes, but this is definitely a second chance author situation. Roll number 4 is an 11. So close to the end with an iced coffee space. A book that will make me cry. For prompt number 4, I got a book that will make me cry. And for this, I actually talked to Neva and was like, what books have made you cry recently or devastated you? And I was told Magnolia Parks by Jess Hastings. I wanted to get to this during Get a Clue Readathon. Didn't happen. So now it is on the TBR for next year. This, I believe, is similar to Gossip Girl, or at least some of the relationships in Gossip Girl. That's kind of what I've heard tell of. And it follows Magnolia and BJ. She's a socialite. He's a bad boy, and they are meant to be. However, there's a lot of dysfunction in this relationship, and there's a lot going on that is not ideal. This is not a romance in that sense. I'm pretty sure it's just a bit too messy to be a romance, or not ideal romantic things happening. I know Neva and Rainey absolutely love this, so I'm going to be giving it a try in January. I hope to like this as well. We'll see if it makes me cry. And our last roll, of course, had to end with the doubles, so we have 2 mood reads. So we have made it to the end of the board with a double. And if you don't know what a double means in Timmy's TBR, it means I have to double the prompt. So I need to pick 2 books for the same prompt. Luckily, the end of the board means a mood read. So I only have to pick 2 mood reads. Not a huge deal. I'm okay with that. It does mean an extra book on the TBR, but they're mood reads. The first one I'm going to put on there is one that seems to kind of always be one of my mood read picks because it never seems to work into any of the other prompts. And that is the B&K Book Club book for next month. The B&K Book Club is a book club that I run with my friend Kelsey over on Discord, and we do sprints every month for the book. The link is always down in the description box down below. And for January, we are reading The Engagement Party by Darby Kane. We're going back to thrillers for January, and I hope this is a winner for most people in the book club. Fingers crossed. This book follows college friends coming back together for an engagement party. 12 years ago, their friend Emily went missing and her body was later found. And another one of their friends committed suicide around the exact same time. And there was a text that kind of connected the 2 people together. So the police never thought there was any foul play. and they were wrong. Now that they have all gathered for this engagement party, someone wants to really find out what happened to Emily and this other friend and get to the bottom of this mystery. This is a secluded location thriller. There's only one way in, one way out of wherever they're having this engagement party. And those are thrillers that I tend to enjoy. I'm very intrigued to dive into this. This will be my second Darby Kane, but as of filming this, I haven't read Pretty Little Wife yet. It's one of the 5 books that I'm planning to get to over the next 2 weeks. So I don't even know how I feel about this author, but I will going into the book club. And my last mood read is going to be for the Wheel of Time first book, Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. I'm doing a read along for this on the Fable app. The link is down below as well. And we're going to slowly be reading through Wheel of Time throughout this year, and it will run into 2025 because there are a lot of books and they're very chunky. So we're going to be working on this for a while. I need to read the first book in January, so I might as well put it on this TBR and work smarter, not harder. Plus, I'm very excited to read Wheel of Time and finally get to this series. It's been on my shelves for so long, and I want to know what all the fuss is about. And I'm really excited to dive in with a group of you and read this book together and discuss it and see what we all think of this very popular, very chunky fantasy series. So here's the TBR, 6 books. 6 is very doable. I'm positive I can get through these in January if I actually focus on my TBR. So this should be fine. We also have 2 rollovers, but even 8, very doable. These are for videos, read-alongs, book clubs. This should definitely be able to get done in January. I haven't said that in a while. I haven't been confident that I can finish a TBR in a while, so that's very exciting. What are some of the books on your January TBR? I always like to see what you're reading in January down in the comments, so let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.